Alright guys, in this video we're going to show you ways to modify your squat if you're dealing with hip impingement. My name is Sebastian and this is Desiree. We're part of locally world famous chiropractors in Costa Mesa, California. Just to know that you're on the right video, Des, can you show everyone what we're talking about when we're talking about hip impingement?
This area right here.
Good. So we're not talking about in the upper abdominal area. We're not talking about into the knee. We're not talking about into the SI joint. Or we're not talking about the low back. We're talking about the front. If you have all those other things, we have other videos on this, but just know the way we're talking about modification of squatting today is specific for this scenario. If you have this scenario, great. If you don't, you may need to be examined to make sure that you do, and these modifications may work for you. Before we get into the modifications, just know if you're looking for more information about diagnosis of your hip, we have a webinar that's going to pop up in the corner, which is a really good resource. It's free. Take advantage of it. Now, which modification you want to do if I'm having problems with my back squat?
Okay, back squat, that's a good one. So thinking about back squat mechanics, you're typically going to have to get a little bit deeper into the squat position. With someone that has hip impingement, we're going to be limiting that range of motion. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this wonderful box. You're going to adjust it to a height that's just a little bit higher than the bottom of the squat, or just before you start to feel that pinching sensation. All right, so Seb's got his hands in back squat position here. He's going to find the stance that's comfortable for him, and he's going to stand up tall. Now we're going to make sure that he's focusing on pushing his pockets back behind him, but he's not leaning too far forward to where it might cause more sensation in the front of the hip. How does that feel?
I feel a little bit of pinching on the front of this hip doing this.
Okay, so one thing that we might do in that situation, we've already limited range of motion, is we can have him try to widen his feet just a little bit more. Better, worse, or same?
That feels better.
That feels better. So just a slight adjustment of stance width can help limit some of that pain sensation you feel in the front of the hip.
Great. Okay, you want to be the model now? We're just going to start trading off here a little bit and try to stump each other.
Okay.
Why don't you, let's try it without the box.
Okay.
And we'll actually get you a stick.
Ooh, he's getting fancy.
I know, right?
Okay, what are we doing here? Back squat?
Let's do back squat again. You have pain with hip pain with back
Hip
squatting.
pain with back squat.
Let's see your back squat. Okay, great. Come on back up. So I actually see, go ahead and turn towards the camera, Des. Des actually looks like she may actually have this. So it's funny, she drifts, if you guys can see, she drifts off to this side when she squats. Come on back up. You can tell a little bit by the thigh angle. It looks like her thigh angle is like, let's say it's like more vertical to you guys here. And over there it looks like it's kind of drifting in a little bit. So one thing that we can try to do is, one thing we don't want is we don't want her to have to think about her drift when squatting when under load. Number one thing is don't change your position when you're going through the exercise. Address it before, pattern it before, and then start to load up the exercise then. So one thing we can do with Des is we can work on floor tension, okay? And so I want you to imagine there's, right in this carpet here, there's a perforation that's kind of a little bit open.
Okay.
And you're a little neurotic and you want to keep it, like you just keep pulling at the sweater,
Okay.
all right? And so can you spread a little bit, there you go, like you're ripping, not spreading it, but ripping it apart. There we go.
Okay.
Keep it apart at all costs.
Okay.
And go ahead and sit your hips back. And rip and push. Good. One more time. Spread. Tension.
Dramatic. Uh-huh.
Sit. Good. Keep ripping and push yourself up to the ceiling. One more thing we can do with her, by the way, since she's in this position, is can you bring your feet out just a tad for us? There we go. And so this may clear a little bit of impingement she might be having on this hip. Go ahead and rip again. Good. And back up. Good. So that's, I guess I didn't ask you how you feel.
That feels great, actually.
Okay, good.
It feels different, but great.
So that's one modification for her where maybe tension to the floor is more helpful for her because it activates the other hip a little bit better and it shares the load in the squat itself.
Okay.
Okay?
Nice.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to have problems with front squatting.
Ooh, front squatting. Okay. So front squatting, bar being in front of you. He's going to go ahead and sit down into the squat. Okay, where do we feel this? In the front of the hip again?
Yep, front of the hip.
Okay, so again, you could bring the box out. You could break that into the equation. Another thing that we can do is we can take an implement like a kettlebell. I'm gonna keep that chest up nice and tall. And what I'm gonna have him do is I'm gonna cue him to try to break that bell apart and then breathe into his belly and sink down. How does that feel?
It feels better.
That
I don't
feels
know
better.
why, but it feels better.
Similar to the tension cue that Seb gave me with the fit on the floor, him breaking the bell is going to create a little bit more tension in the upper half. It's also going to force him to sit up taller into that front squat. Yeah?
There you go.
Very nice.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay. Now, if you guys are looking for help for hip impingement, we have a lot of videos on YouTube about examination, stretches, increasing range of motion, various different things. But if you really want the best help, we can help you virtually or in person. We have online services, we have online programs, and we do see people in person still. So we'd love to help you. We're in Costa Mesa, California. Reach out to us via the contact information below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.